Next on the Love You More podcast.
I ain't never claimed to be perfect, but let me tell you something. In my marriage, I did not do nothing. All right, I did a little something, but hell, that ain't your business. You know, KD, the one thing that really, really bothered me, he said, I got a book that I put out in 2015. I want to say chapter 8. I told you all about the stuff that I was doing. But you know, the beauty that I learned and the lesson that I learned about Christianity and Christians and curating the conversation that's controversial is that a lot of times we'll lean on our humanity instead of our Christianity. Mistakes aren't people. No, they're just incidents.
Love you more.
Fam Bam, Willie Moe Jr. here. Another amazing day of the Love You More show. Notice that I called it a show. And the reason why I'm calling it a show is because I seen something in Mashanana. I see it on the big screen streaming everywhere. So I'm finding everybody $100 if you call it a podcast. Okay, it may be on podcasting platforms, but you call it the show. You hear me? So this week, to those who have watched the last 3 shows, number one, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you. Nobody would have thought that something that we can put in the atmosphere could be so, what would I say? Would be so received by so many in so many different ways. Let's just say that. I'm not saying everybody's just as excited as I am, and I'm not saying that I'm as excited as everybody else, but it's good that we're getting the banter and some communication going on about certain subjects that most people choose not to talk about, right? And so essentially, if you're new to the show, I want to tell you that this Love You More series and this Love You More show is really designed for us to hear people's stories and see how they became who they are and how did they learn how to love themselves. So I really do appreciate everybody watching. So do me a favor. What I would like to see happen is I want to see you subscribe. I want to see you share. I want to see you leave a comment. In whatever platform you choose to see this on, I need you to do all 3. If you're watching on YouTube, I challenge you to click that little notification bell. You got it? Good. Okay, so today is kind of what I call digging in the comments. I love to see like a digging in the comments right there to the editor, digging in the comments. Boom, boom. You see that? Boom, digging in the comments. So I'm kind of doing a recap this Sunday because I always like to look back. I believe that clarity comes with reflection. Okay, clarity comes with reflection. That's something that you need to always do. I become an avid journaling person, so I journal at least 3 to 5 times a week, just really going through my life and just saying, okay, that worked well, that didn't work well. And at the end of the year, I get a chance to go back and see some of the things that I did good and see some of the things that I did great. And I get an opportunity to see some of the things that I need to learn from. Notice I didn't insert anything bad because everything is data. Okay, like everything is data. I don't look at life with like bad moments. We have good moments, great moments, and moments of learning. And so as I look back, we started this show off with the one and only Derek Jacks. Boom! Not that picture, another picture. That was a glamour shot picture. Good. That's a good picture of Derek. That's what he looked like today. So what I was thinking when I initially, so let me just be very, very honest, dropping the fourth wall. There is a series and this is a show. And so every single week, guys, there is supposed to be like music and then there is the show, the podcast, if you would. Find myself $100. And Derek Jacks was about to do another interview. I didn't know what interview it was, but he gave me the courtesy to say, I know that you were supposed to come out with it on this date, but I'm about to start taking interviews. And as a courtesy, he was like, yo, if you want to get the first interview, make sure you come out. And I said, okay, cool. But the thing is, I have a plan, but I ended up putting it out. And I wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be, but it still made the impact that I thought it could. Now, some of y'all, let me just be honest with y'all. If y'all Christians, man, y'all really gave that man some hell. And some of y'all even tried to give me hell, but let me tell you something about me. I'm no reputation. I like me. So you liking me or disliking me don't necessarily bother me. I would love for you to be a part of what we're doing, but if you're not, well, let's get that out the way. Not the same Willie Moe Jr. who went through comments and felt bad that you didn't like something. No, that's why it's called Love You More. Hell, I love me way more than I love you. Yeah, I'm gonna love me so much that you can only live off my surplus. But it really hurt me the way y'all did old Derek Jacks. Now, let me tell you something. I did not go in the rabbit hole of who Derek Jacks is or what have you. I seen him as a brother who was giving some pretty good information out there. I didn't know who his OGs was. I didn't know what type of men he hung around, but I just wanted to know. So I was really digging in the crates to see what he was, you know what I'm saying, see what he was talking about. When I put up this trailer, check this out.
The most controversial man on social media sits down with Willie Moore Jr.
Man, I'm just keeping it real with you, Willie. She heard me say a lot of stuff on my platform that wasn't aligned with how I was moving at times and didn't say anything.
You do have children. How many children do you and her have?
I have 3 children. They're all with her.
How many long were you married?
Married for 4.5 years.
Or together for?
14 altogether.
Oh man, out of them 14, I know you were doing something. What's Derek's biggest mistake when you look back?
I would say choosing her from the place that I did.
He slept with 100 women. I didn't see it, but I used to compare myself to these different women. I went through his phone and I seen A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like, she's very specific about what you were as a husband.
There was 100 women total, and I hate that I'm discussing my sexual history before, during, and after her.
Love you more.
When I put that trailer up, y'all went crazy. Lost your mind. One of the biggest comments that really hit me, it was a dude, I forgot his name. I'll go find it, insert it right there. He just said, he didn't even comment. He just said, unfollow. He didn't even, KD, the man didn't even give an explanation. The man just said, unfollow. And listen, here go the thing. I love me. I was going to go on his page and say, so I didn't do that. And then another one with Derek Jacks, maybe I'll pull it in. Derek Jacks, somebody said they're trauma bonding together. Why y'all putting whatever I did in there? I was just interviewing the man. I ain't never claimed to be perfect, but let me tell you something. In my marriage, I did not do nothing. All right, I did a little something, but hell, that ain't your business. You know that? That is not everybody's business. And in fact, one day I'll get the opportunity to share, but in the meantime, didn't nobody call and ask or see was I okay or anything. You know, KD, the one thing that really, really bothered me, he said, I got a book that I put out in 2015. I want to say chapter 8. I told you all about the stuff that I was doing, and guess what you did? Bought it. Thousands of copies were sold. I was everybody's hero because I was so honest. And now that somebody was honest about what they thought, hell, y'all went crazy on me and old Derek Jacks. But you know, the beauty that I learned and the lesson that I learned about Christianity and Christians and curating the conversation that's controversial is that a lot of times we'll lean on our humanity instead of our Christianity. But when people naturally lean on their humanity, when they're supposed to be Christians and you view them a certain way, you judge their humanity instead of treating them like Christians. And so this is what I want to challenge you to do on this show. I'm going to bring some people in here that you may not like, but I want you to understand the audience in which I attract. I attract cats from the neighborhood. It's not just, like, I didn't go to church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know how some people like, church meeting on Wednesday. I wasn't there, okay? Friday was such and such meeting. Wasn't there. Saturday it was cleanup day. Wasn't there. Sunday, maybe. And we was Baptists. No disrespect to Baptists. I'm licensed as a Baptist minister, so no disrespect. So I attract a different group of people who expect more of us. But I was actually ashamed of us at some points of this conversation because we did not treat each other correctly. So I ain't beating you up too bad. I'm just saying we got to fix it. Because no matter what we're doing, we're fishing. And this is a big fishing rod and a big net. So we're catching a lot of people, but don't kill them before we get to clean them. Cool. Got that? Good. Second interview. Who did I interview the second time? Talking loud. How can I forget the Larry Reed, the most feared man in gospel everything? So, man, I end up meeting Larry Reed. There's so many things that I could say about Brother Larry Reed. But the one thing I will say is I'm so thankful that he's himself. It was a part in there, and you could play it, put the insert right there. He said, now how real you want me to be? So do you think that you took her back because there was something on the inside of you that didn't necessarily love Larry the way you should have? Because you're like a totally different guy now. Like, why were you so grateful for a person who made a decision?
You know, now how real you want me to be?
Because he was respectful enough to know that I'm real on my platform, but can I be real here? And once we indicated to him that it was a safe space, He shared some things that I had never heard him share. He's only taken 3 interviews, and he gave us the privilege of having an opportunity to take a glimpse into his life. Here's the thing. I ain't got to protect Larry Reed. Hell, he protect himself. He got on y'all when y'all was talking in that stuff on YouTube. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't that free. I cannot go back and forth with you. But there was one thing that really stuck out with me with Larry Reed, and a lot of people really honed in on it. It was like, what type of church leadership would Larry Reed be in, et cetera, et cetera.
I say trust the church that has in its leadership the gender that represents you.
What type of church would Larry go to?
Mine.
And which kind of church is that? Et cetera. And then you guys decided to start to attack what he do in his life in his bedroom. We won't have that on this platform, right? Like, that's the one thing that I understand about social media is that you forget that it's skin, it's spirit, et cetera, et cetera. I want to challenge you to like, all right, God, is this a cool thing to say to a person who could actually read it? Right? Like, I want you to do that. Another thing that stuck out to me with Larry Reed, they was like, sin, sin, sin. And
what can block what God is doing is sin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see,
that sin?
No. It can be for some.
Okay.
See, sin, this is what I teach. Sin is irrational thinking, number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, sin is anything that harms you. Number 3, sin is anything that harms anybody else. And fourthly, and probably the most important, sin is anything that is less than what is God's will of good for you. So all that list of drinking, smoking, all that made up by white folk, that ain't it.
I think what Larry was attempting to tell you was that sin, the way we look at it, we believe that it takes us out of running for God's grace. I'm gonna be the first to tell you, I'm the one who don't got it all together. For real. I thank God that grace and mercy follows me all the day of my life, right? I'm so glad that it does because I'm gonna make a mistake and you gonna make a mistake. But I want us to view the way we handle people's mistakes as that mistakes aren't people. No. They're just incidents. So if you fall in a mistake, you're looking for all the remorse in the world. Help me, I've made a mistake. And you're looking for somebody to come and be there for you. But somehow when other people make a mistake, you think that that's their identity. I want to challenge you to think just a little different. Shout out to Larry Reed. He made $1 million every 45 days. Play the clip what he did. Like COVID wiped out a lot of great ministries who are attempting to build back.
That's when I made my first $1 million in 45 days.
Every 45 days. Every 45 days. I love the way, KD, the way Larry Reed said 45 days, it felt like $1 million was coming. You could tell he was like 99, 1 million.
45 days, 45 days, 45 days.
Shout out to Larry Reed. Now, this last show, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I was nervous. Demetra. Hell, I was nervous on this one. I was nervous when I had the conversation, not because of the conversation's sake, but I was nervous because it was a friend, almost like family. And I knew I was going to feel the way if y'all started to bother people. I played this clip right here, and this is when it all started. How many people in your neighborhood have been through what you've been through, having to literally identify your daughter now as your son?
When Taylor came out to us, we said, you know what, we would rather have a live son than a dead daughter because transgender young people have the highest rate of suicide among any type of person.
And, at first it was crushing to me because I'm like, well, I don't have a daughter, I have a son, so I won't have, walk her down the aisle. I won't have that daddy-daughter dance at the wedding. But I'm going to love my child unconditionally. That's my child. And that's just how I looked at it.
Period.
Well, why didn't you do what most Christian people do? Come on, she-TTP and touch their stomach.
What I knew in my heart is that I needed to surround him with a bunch of love.
I'm not asking you for your agreeance once again. I'm asking you for your respect.
Love you more.
Lord have mercy. People got in the comments and you guys really, really, really had some differing opinions about what you thought. I even got some DMs that made me say, Lord have mercy. Is this what this family's gonna have to go through? I end up calling Miss Alice. And I reminded her of the mission that she had and the calling on her life, because they're navigating through some waters that's not new, but it's just new to a lot of different people. And I told her that it took a lot of bravery and courage to be able to get on a platform such as this and tell her truth. And how do I feel about y'all? Well, can you do me a favor and just watch an episode before you make an assumption on the trailer? I almost got mad, but guess what? I didn't, right? And it's unfortunate that some of you didn't get the opportunity to get to know a family who learn how to love their child, even in the difference of his sexuality, right? And so we had the conversation, and here's the beauty of it all. After the conversation was had, I sat down with my mama and my mama, rolled a little tape right there. That's my mama and my mama. To those of you who don't know, I'm adopted, and I'm blessed to have two mamas still amongst the living. One mama is 82. She love God, still cuss a little bit. My mama, other one, she in her 60s. She still love God, and she a little bit more proper, but she still cuss a little bit too. Let's get that out the way. But I sat down with them initially when we had the conversation. I'm like, what do you think about a daughter who now identifies as a son and a mother supporting? My mom was like, well, hell, let me tell you something. I just feel like all them people's is confused. And I think you just need to be called what you need to be called. And I said, okay, Mom, it's fine. And I said, I want you to watch something. She ended up watching the interview with the Prince family. And when she got finished, she said, that is a very smart woman. And if you would have walked in and told me that I now identify as a woman, I would be very disappointed. But now that I see how this woman has handled her baby, she's given me a blueprint on how I would have had to handle it. And I don't think I would have handled it any other way, but with the love and the respect that lady has for her child. And then my other mother, when Alice said this,
I need to surround him with love. I need to let him know it's going to be all right. We're going to take this $20 into the slot machine. Like, we going to have a good time. Your family going to be behind you, because I know that the world is going to turn against you. I know that there's going to be some dark nights. I know that you're going to get some transphobic emails and some ignorant stuff. I know some stuff is going to happen that you're not going to tell us about, because we're going to want to go fight. So,
my other mama said, but she will change the world. And it really just hit my spirit. So here's like two people who come from different time zones as it pertains to life, but she was able to make impact. And if you go even in the YouTube comments, we didn't erase nothing. I told the whole team, we don't erase nothing, good or bad. Leave it up there so we can learn from it and grow from it. We will not hide from negativity or positivity, because we're hidden in Christ. And man, it was so many people like, I never viewed it that way. So shout out to the Prince family. Shout out to Carlton, shout out to Alice, shout out to Taylor, shout out to the twins. Thank you guys for being so courageous. Thank you for being so brave. Yeah. So those were the 3 shows. So what I want to do is just kind of cast vision on where we're going. Coming up soon, baby, I'm sitting down with Real Talk Kim. Ladies, go crazy. Let me tell you something. It's something different about her. I had to look close. Fine was on her. The spirit of fine was on her. Show was. Wasn't trying to get on her though, but I can say that she my sister. She was fine. She did her thing. She had like the little situation. That's coming up real soon. And then the music is coming in October. But here's the thing that I need you to do. Help. Yes, Lord. Come on. You know how people always say that they don't need no help, but when you get a vision that's bigger than you, you really need help. And so I want to challenge you to help me with these interviews if you feel like, man, there's something else that you want to be asked. Okay, so I want you to log on to loveyoumore.com. If you're watching on YouTube, it's a link in the description. If you're listening to it audibly, just go to loveyoumore.com. Okay, and I want you to click that little partner situation. Just click partner. And what's going to happen is you're going to get a bird's eye view of how I'm feeling the day of the show. At the end of some of our interviews, we're going to let you in. So if there's some questions that you thought should be answered or you got something on your mind, you can help build out a platform whose total motive is to teach others how to love themselves more so we can have better families, better communities, better churches, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? Can I trust you to do that? Please come on over there and partner with me. In closing, you know I like to wrap it with a bow. I was in St. Louis. I go there all the time just because my mom, 82 years old, she's walking through a dialysis journey, but don't feel bad. God is a miracle worker. I believe he's a full restorer, and every time she come off, she get better, okay? Sometimes she be cussing a little bit when she get off, like, Mama, how was it today? She'll be like, well, you know, whenever I get Ron, we all good. And that little girl with the blades, with the little hair, but that cheap wig wearing woman, she go to sticking so much. And I just be like, oh, Mama, you didn't tell her that, did you? And she say no, but I don't know. You just got to pray for my mama because she gonna say what it is. But I didn't necessarily go outside with Mama and them because they move a little slower than normal. My daddy 91, daddy 82. Daddy 91, Mama 82. But the last time I'm in St. Louis, we ended up going to the mall. I'm like, Dad, you sure you want to go? Because you know how your knee is. Sometimes that old knee will buckle. He 91 years old. I try to hold on to him. Like, hell no, I can go here. All I need is my stick. I said, you need your stick? What's a stick? They got a cane that I had that I didn't wrap because, of course, you know them Kappas rule. You know what I'm saying? So I was gonna do an old cane, but my daddy ended up getting that cane, and I seen a different dad. I said, Dad, you moving like you 21 years old. He said, man, all I needed was this stick so I can put this weight on here and I can move. That old knee, I can support it. I don't put too much weight on it. And he was catching up, moving with us. He was agile and he wasn't slow moving. I said, well, we can go anywhere now. Because he took that stick and he allowed the stick to take some of that weight. I began to think about everybody under the sound of my voice. Many times we're holding so much weight and the Father is saying, try me so I can be your cane, though you can hold on to me and I can take some of that weight off of you and you can really align and be moving the way you need to move. See, what you're looking at now, and I say this unapologetically, is a man who's now understands the power of surrendering to God. And so a surrendered life is the best life. I'll be honest, I've always been saved. I mean, literally gave my life to the Lord at 12, started living in obedience about 25, 26, but saved as far as loving God, knowing that my destination is heaven. That's been since 12, but I didn't get surrendered until about 90 days ago. And when I surrendered everything to God, what happened is I realized that I was carrying the weight of the world and God was saying, give it to me so I don't have to move slow in my purpose. Now I see the acceleration of God because there's some things that I was trying to work out that he had already figured out, but I had my hand on it. I'm making every call. Hey, make sure that you do this. Man, I got to have money for the studio. Even told y'all, hey man, I need you to give. Living under anxiety, trying to work in my own works. But once I surrendered to God, everything just started to align. And in the natural, I'm moving like my Father moves in the natural with that cane. I let him have the weight. And your comments don't hurt so much. It doesn't. The cruelty, it just made me want to pray for you. The cheers, it don't puff me up. The only thing that matters is that Christ is pleased with what we put out. You say, Willie, how can Christ be pleased? And you said a bad word and you did this. All this is bait. Those of you who know my heart, you understand the people that I'm talking to. And I'm going to be relevant, relatable, but my heart posture is gonna always be righteous. There's no other choice because I have nowhere else to go but to love Jesus and surrender my life to him. And this is what it looks like. You can be exactly who God called you to be, unapologetically. And I'm gonna be the proof. When you align and you surrender, he's gonna catapult everything that you do. I can't do it without you, right? Because it takes people to move where you need to go. So I would love for you to be a part. And the best way to be a part is I need you to do 3 things just before we get out of here. Number 1, pray what you can't say. Because you ain't gonna keep talking to me all type of crazy. Let's just get that correct. I want you to pray first. Secondly, I want you to tell 2 or 3 people about what we're doing here because it's only get better. And last but not least, I dare you, when you see something in the comments that may not necessarily be exactly the way you think it should go, why don't you defend the faith by saying, hey, just DM dude, because we got little kids watching, man. We got people who ain't believers right now. Man, they watching. Like, just go on the back end and make sure that you clean things up. We have to have a community of people who are righteous enough to do some righteous checks. Because I ain't about to check you every day. I'm going to check you on this Sunday because you didn't know. But I expect us to be more mature than that as Christians and blood-bought believers. Once we surrender it to God, none of this hurts you. In fact, even the people that I choose to bring on, you will see them with a different eye through the lens of grace. I know you can do it. I wouldn't have attracted you if you couldn't. Can I trust you to do that? I know I can. Indeed. So family, listen, next week, Real Talk Kim. I'm gonna hit you with 2 parts. She telling it all. She got a new book too. Fellas, she got it together. Ladies, 51 ain't never looked this good. And listen, here go the thing. Listen, it's all about the sisters for me. But that cream doing her thing. You understand me? Yes, Lord. Make sure you tune in to the Love You More show. $100 fine if you call it a podcast. Flat out. And it is a wrap. Thank you for watching the Love You More show. I'm so humbled by it. Do me a favor, hit that little notification bell so you can be informed whenever we do some updates right here on this show. Hit subscribe, leave a comment. I'm gonna read every single comment, good or bad, right? Because I believe a good conversation is necessary in order for us to move forward. Thank you for watching the Love You More show. Hey, Stone, come on in. Tell him thank you. Tell him thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, he don't even know what he's thank you for, but thank you for watching the show. Flat out.
Love you more, love you more, love you more.